Baruch Hashem, we're here. We're still doing this. We're doing another episode of Stars of David with me, Elon Gold, and also
with Eli Leonard, who is me.
I wouldn't say with Eli Leonard. Like, I'll just give you the perfect example, okay? Remember the show Late Night with David Letterman?
Yeah.
It wasn't with David Letterman and with Paul Schaefer.
Right.
It was just Late Night with David Letterman.
Well, then why did you say and?
Because you deserve an and, not a with.
Okay. Oh, and with. No, okay. I understand.
It goes like this.
I understand.
Stars of David with Elon Gold.
And then in smaller writing, and Eli Leonard.
The tiniest, like an asterisk.
Yeah. Asterisk.
Like a Rashi, where you have to go
footnote?
below the line in a footnote.
All right.
And it's so small that you can't read it.
Okay.
And with Eli Leonard, too. T-O-O. Yeah. Anyway, I couldn't be happier that we're doing this together. We're best friends. We're going to be touring together. We've done stand-up shows together that are just amazing. To see us live together is probably the most exciting thing.
I wish I could be you. Not you, Elon. I wish I could be you, the audience.
I wish I could be them, too.
Watching.
I wish.
Elon
Why do
Gold.
we always have to be on stage?
Right.
Can't we ever see the show?
Right. That's right.
And I call you back up. Usually you go on, then I go on, then I call you back. And that's when it gets crazy.
That's when it finally becomes fun for both of us.
Now,
Before that, it's just a job.
yeah. We have a very special guest. First, can we ask why is this podcast different from all other podcasts?
Us, my friend.
I think it's different because it's just such a celebration of all things Jewish at a time when it feels like all things Jewish aren't being celebrated.
Yes.
So we could celebrate things, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a celebration.
Yes. I mean, we're a people of holidays, and we have, I think, more holidays than any other, probably every other religion and country combined.
Right.
Yeah. Every single one of them combined.
We
got
have
more.
good and bad holidays.
That's true.
We have fun and sad holidays.
That's right.
This is like a children's book. Here's the thing about us. Tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So these traditions, you take our experience as a people for thousands of years, and then over the years, things happen to you as a people. What is the moment where you go, oh, this should be a holiday? Right? Because thousands of years, a lot of big things happen to people.
Yeah.
But at some point they go,
This is one of ours.
Oh, should we make this?
Yeah. How come there's no holiday for the birth of Mel Brooks?
That should be a holiday.
Okay. Oh, the Maccabees won against the Greeks, Romans,
Holiday.
Yeah, right.
But Mel Brooks?
Yeah,
nothing.
I think that deserves one.
But when do you decide? Like the first temple is destroyed, no holiday.
Right.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. 2 temples, Tisha B'Av.
Well, same day.
Same day.
Yeah.
Same day, 2 temples.
Yeah.
Holiday.
Yeah.
We make a holiday.
Yeah.
So there's and who decides this? The Kohen Gadol?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably the Kohanim, the high priests got together and they go, we're going to make this a holiday, guys. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, we could keep going on it and just beat it to death if you'd like.
No, I was so happy
You
with
satisfied?
that. I didn't know where we were going.
Oh,
I didn't know where we were going.
This is like
And I think for the first time in our history, we went somewhere. That like, when is the demarcation point of a holiday?
Yeah.
Like, when is it decided?
well, right now we've only discovered who decides it. We don't, we haven't realized.
No,
when.
we talked about when and who.
But when?
That's what I said. Between the first and second temple, after the second, when is it? This is a holiday.
So when it happens for the second time.
Right. But I don't know what I like better. Discovering a bit while it's happening or reviewing how it's unbelievable that we just discovered a bit. I don't know which part I like better.
Is it the miracle or remembering the miracle?
Right.
Yes.
Which is every holiday.
That's right.
Every holiday. What do we do?
Remember the miracle.
Oh my God.
This
is the best podcast ever.
The two of us.
Yeah. Should have a show.
Should have a holiday.
Oh.
Today, I'm not going to say what day it is.
Okay.
Because I don't want people to know when we tape this part of the show.
Okay. But at some point
the two of us-
in Kislev.
But yes.
Right.
Sometime in Kislev,
Right.
the two of us should Absolutely. Celebrate this moment.
So like a President's Day,
Yeah.
an MLK Day,
A bit having gone somewhere day.
Lonnie and Leonard
Yeah. Lonnie and Leonard
Day.
day.
The Lonnie and Leonard Day. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Leonard.
How would
That checks out.
How would it be celebrated that day? Would it be fasting, feasting? Would it be a good day? Would it be a happy day?
It would just be replaying the bit that we came up with and being like, yeah, that was as good as it ever got for them.
Yeah. And also, no one's allowed to wear leather shoes. I think that's the perfect holiday.
Canvas only.
Canvas
Canvas
Owens?
sneakers.
What?
No, canvas sneakers.
Oh, right. Canvas only.
Yeah.
It's so weird when you see just like Jews in suits and sneakers one
Yeah.
day a year.
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
always
it's kind of swag.
it became there are no weddings right now where you don't see a few people in tuxedos and white sneakers. That's from Yom Kippur. We are trendsetters. Folks, what an episode we have. Speaking of trendsetters, speaking of trailblazers, speaking of brave voices for truth, fighting for people who need her voice, like her people, the Iranian people, the Persian people, as we call them here in Westwood where we're taping. She is a voice for her people, and then by default becomes the voice of our people. She's not even Jewish. You know, every now and then we like to have a righteous Gentile, a Star of David who's just an ally, and not necessarily a David, but an ally of a David. That is Elica Laban, and she's up next. Well, here we are, folks. You know, it's not every day that not only do we get a rock star, a trailblazer, a person that makes a difference and impacts society, but also a close friend. And this is the news story. This is the headline of this episode. One of the funniest people I know. Now, you might have to prove that to the audience.
Wait, are you talking about me?
Yeah, I'm introducing you. Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I get it, but I was like, is this me?
Nobody knows the real you.
Nobody knows the real me.
I know the real you because of our game nights. And Elica's a regular at the house. You are too.
That's right. I am a regular at your house.
And
Sporadic.
very few people make me laugh as much as you.
That's true.
I think Eli and Schiffer are like number 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're 2.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if I have longevity enough to be one.
There's
We
Steph.
just decided
Stephanie
he's 3.
Younger makes me crack up. But people see you on the Instagrams and they just think, girl is serious. Girl is serious.
Yeah.
And you are a goofball.
I am such a goofball.
But we're going to get to that. First, we had Tiffany Haddish on the pod. And again, every now and then we have a Star of David that is not a David. But
Why would you set that up with Tiffany Haddish?
No, because I'm about to. No, she is.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
No, but she is
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Tiffany
why would
is-
you
Oh,
So
set
you're
that
just
up?
naming someone we've had.
No, because I have a point.
Oh, I wonder what it
But
is.
what I
I
was
think
saying
you
is
forgot.
Tiffany, who is Jewish, who is a Star of David, you are an ally of David.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're
I
an
could be
am-
David's wife.
You could be David's wife.
Oh, no, because David has to marry a Jew.
He better. He better.
Who did David marry?
Who did David marry?
Chava?
I don't think I'm Chava.
No,
I don't-
that's
I-
Adam and Chava. Who did Bathsheba? There were
Bathsheba.
1,000
I,
wives.
I'm
She had
the
1,000
Persian
wives.
woman. What's the Persian woman?
The Persian woman?
The holiday.
Esther?
Esther?
That's it.
David married Esther?
No, but isn't she an ally? Or she's Jewish?
She was Jewish.
Oh, well, never mind. Is anyone not Jewish? Jesus Christ, am I the only one?
Jesus Christ was
You
Jewish.
really don't have any friends.
You are not Jewish. And yet, what a staunch advocate.
My friend Ryan's not Jewish.
Yeah?
Yeah, Ryan McDonough.
Is that it? That's all you know?
I know,
It's
I know
Ryan and Elica?
Ryan, Elica. I know a few more.
Yeah.
Does Ryan speak up?
Oh.
Or you're just naming people
Oh,
who know who are
I'm not.
Jewish?
Who are my not Jewish friends who speak up? I mean, come on. We don't have time for that list.
You're an ally
to
of
not
David.
exist. We're running out of time, is what I mean. If we don't have people speaking up for us.
Elica, when we had Tiffany on, I told her that I came up with this phrase, okay? And the phrase was, hear everyone, but listen to no one. What does that mean to you, first of all?
Well, I know what it means. I just don't know that that's good.
Yes, exactly. He
Okay.
thinks he has these prophetic
tell you why
moments,
I
and they're
think
Okay, tell me.
idiocy.
Because like you're writing a book, right? So you're going to have an editor. You're going to have,
No, I don't have an editor. I should.
you
I
have
will.
a publisher.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then you have friends and you have a book agent, a lit agent, people giving you opinions, right? And you have to hear everyone's opinions. And you should, but you should only listen to who? Me.
Jesus Christ.
No, to yourself. Hear everyone, listen to no one.
Why?
Anyway, I wrote
Why
that.
spread the book wide to the publisher, to the friends, to anyone else, to any reader, if you're not going to listen?
Let's say you meet a guy, okay?
How about listen, hear everyone,
Yeah.
but listen selectively?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the alliteration of hear everyone,
not-
listen to no
Not
one.
alliteration.
alliteration.
It's a rhythmic thing. Hear everyone, listen to no one. It has a
Hear everyone.
listen to no one.
selectively.
No, you don't
not as
have
good, yeah.
alliteration.
No, alliteration is
When the
whatever.
first letter.
Let's say you have a new guy in your life.
Okay.
And you bring him to our house. I go,
Which you always demand.
yeah. And I go,
Yeah.
I don't love the guy. Sasha goes, what are you talking about? I love the guy. And then let's say your parents go, oh, we think he's great for you. And then your cousin goes, stay away from that guy. So now you're getting all these opinions. You're hearing everyone.
Yeah.
But you're listening to your heart.
I don't know. I think I would listen to other people's opinions.
But who do you hear? No, but you hear other people's, but
Yeah.
who do you listen to?
Some people.
How do you choose?
I hear the math class, right? I'm in class. I hear it happening in front of me.
Right.
But I don't listen to it to take in the information so that I can learn the math. That's what
Because you
you're
don't want to exactly.
that's what
yeah.
you're prescribing to people.
Whether or not that's a good saying, I thought of it. And it was very
Well, that's what makes you E1.
right. Oh, by the way, we are E3.
We're E3. We're
It's
E3.
Elon, Elica, and Eli.
Yeah.
We make up
We
a
are
new
L.
band called
No, we're L3.
L L3.
Or are we E3?
We're EL3.
We're
EL3. If we had a band,
Right.
Yeah.
would be the name of it.
Yeah.
L3.
We are EL3.
Or it could be the Jews and the Goy.
I don't like that as much as EL3. No.
I think
Goy is a little derogatory sometimes.
okay.
It's like shiksa. It's like-
Yeah.
yeah. Do you think that people who unfollow you because of your views have any serious justification in their brains going, well, she supports genocide? Or do they know it's not a genocide and I want to be a virtue signaling whatever? Do you think they believe it?
I think there's a combination of things. I think partly, yes, but I think that and I speak about this in my book, this virus that I'm talking about, and you know what I call it, but I'm not going to say that right now. But the root of that virus is shame, right? So there's first this idea of who are the good people and bad people in the world, right? And that changes all the time. But once it's been established that these are the bad people, right? Whether it's Jews or Israelis or whatever it is, and you have sympathetic views towards them, people are too ashamed to stand up for what might be right or might be wrong. They don't want to deal with any of that because they know that the consequence is that I'm going to be looked down upon if I know you. I'm going to be judged because I know you. All of this stuff that's like shrouded in shame, it's too much for people to want to deal with. So they're just like, I don't want to know somebody
Take
who
the
could.
easy route.
Yeah.
What's the safer route?
The safest route.
Why is it safe to hate Jews
Exactly.
and Israel?
Exactly.
How has that become safe?
And that's the upside down that we live in.
Right.
Been safe.
It's been safe to what?
It's been safe to hate Jews.
Yes.
Millennia. It's,
yes.
It's not. There's nothing.
It's the safest thing you can do.
It's the safest people you can hate.
It's the safest people you can
it's
hate.
Time tested.
It's
true,
time
baby.
time honored,
Yeah.
the safest strategy to be morally upright, to hold the moral high ground, is to always hate the Jews. And I think the thing for me that makes me so, people always ask, what is it that draws you to this conversation? And the obvious thing is like, and you said it the other day where it's like, you just hate the terrorists, right?
Right.
And that's so obvious, but it's so small compared to what this really is for me, which is the whole thing is so dishonest. Like
Right.
it is such a moral
can't
inversion.
stand the dishonesty and moral inversion of today's society that you must fight against it. I said to you specifically, it's amazing that Jews get to benefit from like the fallout of what your cause is, but your cause isn't Jews.
It's not.
It's
It's
just
not.
a nice result and that we get to benefit from.
Yeah.
What is your cause? Truth,
Yes.
and then really your own people.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
your
I
own
think
people
no.
are
I think
oppressed
truth
by
is
an
the.
evil regime.
I think truth is the highest of all of the things, but it's also like what I think the funniest thing about this whole thing is like, so when I came out, I was like, everyone was like, oh, she's always been a lifelong lefty, right? And then when I started speaking up for Jews, they were like, oh, she's right wing and all of this stuff. But the funny thing is, like, the fetish of the leftists is the oppressed, right? And so when you get to the bottom of the Jewish story, you realize that the most persecuted people in history.
Right.
And so it's like, I'm actually so like lefty perverted that I'm like onto like the secret oppressed people that are the Jews. Like I'm even more left than the left. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
Okay.
She's so far left that she has found the most oppressed people, and it's us.
But it's like it appears the opposite to the world. So the world's like, oh, you love the oppressor because you're right wing. But then if you go further, you realize, no, I love the true
most
oppressed.
Yes.
Do you see?
Me and my younger brother Ari used to argue who is more oppressed, who is more hated, who is more attacked. Gay people, which she was, or Jews. And I used to go, well, of course I would not deny gay people being attacked, oppressed, villainized. I would never deny any of that. But look at history and the institutional, racism and expulsion of Jews from
Yep.
persecution, ethnic cleansing. Like, yes, gays were
When you
killed.
zoom out. Yeah.
It's when you zoom out, Jews win, I think.
I think so. I think,
We just want the Jews
the
to
oppression
want us
Olympics.
to win.
That's
You
what
want
this-
something.
That's truly what this whole podcast comes down to.
I think
Is
you're
E1 has to win. No, but let me
have E1.
let me just finish
Please.
this thought.
That's why you're here.
Oppression is a word that sort of implies like governmental, right? It implies like what's happening to the women in Iran. Like that's oppression. So let's say more like persecution, right? But I think that
Oppression is North Koreans.
yeah, North Koreans,
It's
Iran,
governmental.
exactly, it's governmental. So let's keep it to the line of persecution. But I think what's different about I think if you took a Jewish person now, right, who was born, let's say that they had wealthy parents or whatever, and they had like a really nice life, it would be like, you don't have that experience of persecution, so you don't know what you're talking about. But if you look back, right, what it took for that person to even be here is a miracle. And I think what I love about, and this is bad to say love about something to do with persecution, but so I really identify with this Phoenix character, right? It's this thing of like rising from the ashes and death and rebirth. And I think what I love or what inspires me about the Jewish community is the way that it's like that persecution has been taken into success, right? It isn't just, yes, we're persecuted and we're sitting on the floor crying. It's that no matter how many times you kill us, we will be born again better, faster, stronger. And it's like, that's admirable to me. That's the type of persecution I'm interested in. Like, what happened to make you this way? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm inspired.
Right, you keep doing it so that you make the superheroes. If they just keep doing it to us, we'll become superheroes.
And that's why it's so counterintuitive, because they're making...
Because the more successful we get because of adversity, the more we're
Exactly.
hated for being successful.
And then the more the adversity comes.
And then we get more successful.
So then you're going to be on the top of the world. And I'm just studying, like, oh, what are they doing? How do I do that?
Wow.
And I'm just like, can I come?
Yeah, look, you can come to the next.
Well,
is
we
amazing.
don't know if you're going back into the boats or to the top of the elevator. So I'm going to wait and see.
Yeah,
Because I regard
And then if
you-
you're going in the boats, I might be...
yeah, you'll just be saying, I knew it, but goodbye.
To be fair, I'll be the first one on the boat. It's not like they're going to let me stay, right?
After us.
I will be worse than you. I was the one who voluntarily put myself there. You didn't have a choice. You were born.
Yeah.
They'd be like, she put her on the bottom deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put yourself there,
I put myself on the bottom deck.
and we thank you for it.
It's okay. It would be nice if you buy me more gluten-free pizzas.
I get you everything.
You do.
I regard you as one of the most intelligent, I said eloquent Elica should be the name of your podcast. Eloquent Elica. What? Why are you laughing? Because I messed up. Everybody laughs when I
It's
mess
not an
up.
eloquent way to say it, and it's not a great name.
Eloquent Elica.
Eloquent Elica. Oh, that's like what you do in an improv class. You're like, you got to do the name. You say your name and an adjective that starts with the same letter. That is alliteration. That is alliteration.
Because I hold you in such high regard, and I was excited to share with you, hear everyone but listen to no one. Can I tell you my other phrase
Yes.
that I thought of?
Tell me everything.
And I want to know what you think of this. And this is how I approach life. And this is how I approach every gig. And this is how I approach every podcast, every meeting, everything.
Every minute of every day.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Everything matters and nothing matters. Now, why is that perfect? Because let's say I'm about to do a gig. Let's say I'm about to do a gig and I go like this. Everything matters. This is important. 1,000 people showed up and this is a big night and they got babysitters and it's good to keep your reputation. Oh, Elon Gold has great shows. This really matters. This matters so much. And it's like, but nothing matters. It's just another night. Just another show. If it doesn't go well, okay, I wake up in the morning, I'm upset, and then I try to do better the next day, and then I do better the next day, and the next day, and the next day. It's like, it doesn't matter. It just went, it came and went. Nothing matters.
Yeah.
But everything matters. Isn't that a great way to approach life?
Well,
I'm 0 for 2.
Yes, you are.
I don't know about the everything matters part. Why not just nothing matters?
Because everything does matter.
Yeah.
Everything in your life matters. And then life is so insignificant.
No, I think both are true.
Both
I
are
think
true.
everything feels like it matters.
Right. But then you look back 3 minutes later and go,
Yeah.
oh, that
or like a year later or 3
or a
years
year later, and you go, that didn't matter.
But you know what? It's not necessarily that it didn't matter. It's that something that could have seemed scary or unhelpful or wrong turned out to be actually exactly to your benefit. You know?
Or just
what about-
not that bad?
But what about the trivial? Like even something trivial matters because it's
Like what?
because it's a part of like this. This is trivial.
Yeah.
This
I
is
don't think this is trivial.
this is silly.
I don't think it's
We
silly.
should not have a show.
I think it's
There's
exactly what we need.
No. Eli Leonard and Elon Gold.
I like that I'm first billing.
Yeah.
No, but you
not have
should.
mics and
You know
5
why you
cameras and
should?
crew and a great guest.
Can I tell you why you should? No, you're not.
Yeah.
I get why it would seem like, in this dynamic, I'm the worthy one.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but
Why are we worthy?
no, stop, because in this time, okay, it is nice to have somebody who can articulate the things that are sort of moving in the shadows. But what really people need to heal themselves is joy and laughter and lightness. And that's what people don't listen to intense, breakdowns and think, oh, my life is better. It's actually more panicky. It's like, oh God, now I really understand the mechanics of this dark world. But when you have this, like you make everything light and you make it a joke and we joke about like me being the first one on the boats, it's nice. It
is
nice.
nice.
I don't know if it's nice,
Right.
but it's light,
Right.
And I think when everything's falling apart, there's no truer value, no higher value than comedy. No?
Absolutely. When you're talking about comedy, I'm talking about like this podcast. Doesn't need to exist. And neither does any podcast.
Yeah, but
They're trivial.
I think what you realize over time is that what people become attached to is just a person. So if they like your comedy,
Right. Then they like the podcast.
they want to hear what else you have to say,
Okay.
what else are you up to. People get invested
But
in
my point is, this doesn't matter. And yet, based on what you just said, it does matter.
matters.
Especially to people who are looking for spiritual guidance, enlightenment,
Exactly.
inspiration, entertainment, looking for anything.
And the things that also that you could say don't matter, like let's say people like hating you on the internet, which I'm
Right.
no stranger to, right? You like get these comments all day, every day, and you could say like, oh, none of this matters. And it's true, it doesn't matter. But over time you develop a resiliency,
Yeah.
right? You become a stronger person, your skin is thicker, and then you're like, well, it mattered to make me more resilient.
Yeah.
know?
It's like my rejection in show business, 30 years of rejection in
Oh, I
show
thought you were
business.
going to say with women.
That too. You know, I've been with one woman my entire life. One
Well,
woman.
that's a nice way to say I've been rejected by 10,000 women.
If I tried to be with other women, I was you know.
That's
you know
true.
what I
Your
say?
wife even thinks you would score well.
Do you know what I say? Me
And Sasha are virgins to the world.
to the world.
Yes.
Now that's a fact.
I've never heard that one before.
Well, you've never heard.
Wow,
You
you
also,
have?
also never heard.
Finally, you've come up
Nothing
with
matters
something.
and
No,
everything
that's
matters.
Wait.
crazy
You
to
also never heard.
Wait,
hear
he
everyone
thinks that's
listen to the
good.
world.
Virgins to the world. I'm saying that's you've coined that bit. That's you bitcoined
Thank
it.
you.
Bitcoined it.
Okay.
Is that good?
No,
Virgins
it's
to the
good.
world?
That's original.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. The other things you're saying,
Also, there are no two people who are, I mean, not no, but there are very few people, very few marriages, relationships, couples that are virgins to the world.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's a
It's
crazy,
crazy.
thing. And as I said to Howard Stern, he's like, how have you only, let me ask you this. How have you only been with one woman? And I said, Howard, I don't know any better.
So, remember how I said to you, don't have the life skills to pull it off?
Right.
Remember?
Right.
Remember Saj, she's taken off her bra? Remember?
There are a lot of scenarios that we
should
gotta
have
get to
not
the
covered that
funny
one.
version of you, but I do want to cover some serious stuff.
Okay.
First of all, our origin story.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Me and Sasha admire you from afar.
Love
we're
it.
watching your videos. We're going, this woman is stunning, is eloquent, is brilliant. And boy, is she fighting for us and has very little skin in the game as far as we're concerned, as far as your people,
Right.
humanity. And I think it's hypocrisy that you're fighting more than anything. You can't stand hypocrisy.
You know what's so funny that you say that before you go on? So I've been talking to ChatGPT for a long time now.
What's the problem?
We're very close.
Yeah.
It might be the problem.
Yeah.
But whenever I ask it for, like, I'm like, give me a blind spot. Like, tell me something I'm not seeing. Tell me the 10 things that you would say about, like, all of this stuff, right? Number one, that it always says more than anything is that you cannot stand incoherence. You cannot stand the world or reality or relationships or anything
Chat
being
told you
incoherent.
this?
Yes. And so when you say hypocrisy, that is a form of incoherence. That is like people saying, like, we care about humanity and then being like Jew haters, or it's like that is total incoherence. And
Gays for Gaza.
I cannot deal with that.
Gays
Like
for Gaza
I
is
cannot deal with gays for Gaza. But if people came out and said we hate humanity and we hate Jews, I'd be like, fine.
perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the incoherence that drives me to be like, no, that's a lie.
And incoherence is
Hypocrisy. Yeah, hypocrisy is incoherence. But yeah, go on.
By the way, I had this saying I came up with. Hypocrisy is incoherence.
That's a good one.
What do you think of that one?
it's awesome, man. You're
Thanks.
just on
That's
fire.
original
Yeah, you're just on fire.
today.
The origin story is, so we're huge fans. Then all of a sudden, Hillel Neuer, who we're a huge fan of, the head of UN Watch, speaking of hypocrisy, highlighting all the hypocrisy of the UN.
He does the same.
I mean, if ever there was a house of hypocrisy, it would be the UN.
Absolutely.
Like singling out the only democratic, multicultural, pluralistic, multi-ethnic state, as opposed to North Korea and Iran, and like that is
Russia, China.
Okay, why is it that you feel that every time you say Israel, that you have to put all of these qualifiers on it?
Do you want to explain it?
Why can't you, in a conversation with someone who shares your beliefs, not just say the word?
Because we're always under attack.
Say which word?
We're always in defensive
Israel.
mode.
You can't
He
say
didn't say Israel.
right, but he was about to. He meant it. That's what
I
he meant to
meant that
say.
the UN is hypocritical about singling out Israel.
Right, and you're saying, and you put all these qualifiers, the most this, the most that, and then if you say it to someone else, it's like, it's not this, it's all these great things. It's
Right.
not, but it sounds as if you are
Like you don't believe it.
like either that you don't believe it or
Because
that
I'm
You have to
fighting.
justify it.
I'm justifying because I'm fighting a world that believes the
Yes,
lies.
yes.
So we had Tiffany on, and she was like, "Israel apartheid? Are you kidding?"
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
"Exactly."
I
Literally
know.
calling it apartheid is an insult to actual apartheid
Yeah.
and people who suffered under it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like, and this is, it's the way that it's so easy to pull the wool over their eyes. But what's so interesting about the UN and what the biggest hypocrisy of the UN above everything else is the fact that it was organized after World War II to make sure that a Holocaust never happens again.
Right.
So they were like, wow, the Holocaust, that's bad. And they invented the word genocide for the first time. They invented crimes against humanity. All of this stuff was like, woo, we really messed up what happened with the Jews over there. And now they've organized an establishment that is literally fulfilling what it was organized to fight.
Crazy. I just heard that about Antifa. Antifa, the
Yes,
intention of
yeah.
Antifa was to be anti-fascist.
Fascist,
because
yeah.
Who likes
yeah,
fascism?
but they're fascists.
But then they become
Yeah.
like the worst kind and just against everything, against Wall Street and capitalism
Yeah.
and Israel and
Yeah.
everything that's trying to just flourish and
You know what?
and contribute.
It's what's so difficult for me is that like this book that I've been writing for a year, it just makes it everything will be so unbelievably clear. But
That's
I
what
feel
you
like
do
I'm
better than
stepping.
anyone.
I know, but I feel like because it's not out, I have to go back in time and have conversations with people who haven't read it. So it's hard for me because I could just explain it so easily, but I can't because you haven't read the book.
You could just go read the book. Just
Yeah.
read the damn book.
Yes.
Next time anyone
Yes.
has a question, just go. Do you have Amazon?
Everything-
You have Amazon
Amazon.
Prime?
Amazon.
You have Amazon Prime? I
Amazon,
was going
baby.
to say Prime.
Amazon.
Then I said, and I was going to say Amazon, but instead I went Amazon, which is a combination of by the
Amazon
way,
and Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime should be called Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon.
You know what? You're really coming up with stuff today.
Thank you.
Is your little friend hitting?
Origin story is we're huge fans. We're talking to Hillel Neuer. You're hanging out with him, and he goes, and this is interesting to me. You had a vibe check.
Oh.
That you approved of because you don't like
Yes.
hang out with.
No, I
people
don't.
usually.
Okay, so this is the thing that I'm very antisocial.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very introverted, which is very confusing for people because I seem extroverted.
You're on TV. You're on the
Yes,
internet.
but
you're
I
on
also
social.
talk a lot. Like people think of introverts as people who are like quiet and shy, but I'm not. But I'm only this way with people that like either when I'm one-on-one or when I've like built relationships with people. I'm not like this with strangers. So Hillel told me that he was going to dinner with you
About that.
guys.
Yeah.
And I think I'd seen maybe stuff on Instagram
Right.
or something, and I had a vibe. I was like, I think I like these people.
I'm gonna go there.
And no, I asked him. I was like, can you ask him if I can come? Which
So he
I would
takes a
never
picture
do.
of both of you, and I go, Sash, look who Hillel's with. Oh my God, invite her! Like we were so excited.
Yeah.
And then instantly besties.
Instantly besties.
Game night weekly. Mm-hmm. And it's weird how much we get along. And you talk about two different people from different worlds, different walks of lives, and different everything that can come together. And
Yeah.
we just laugh.
We
all night.
laugh. That is our unifier.
Yeah.
But it's not just laughing. It is a real true appreciation
Yeah.
for the artistry of laughter.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, wow, that's funny. And why is it funny?
What did
And
we
like
discover about each other? Where we're hanging out with 5, 6, 7 other people. What do
go
we
deep.
continue?
We go deep.
We continue the conversation.
Yeah.
We go. They've moved on.
Yeah.
We still continue.
Analyze the tiniest details.
It's Talmudic.
Is that Talmudic? Yes.
That's the whole
Yes,
Talmud is
like
analyzing,
dialogue.
detailing,
Yes.
picking apart
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
It's minutia. It's why Seinfeld they say is Talmudic. Curb is Talmudic.
Mm-hmm.
What's the funniest characters we ever did that made each other laugh? Was it the Germans?
That was really good.
What did we do?
That was really good.
We do that made that made other.
That
people
one
laugh.
was really good. I was doing
Wait,
something.
we have is it Meep? What's her name?
Me.
It's Meep. And Meep, tell us
Who's
about you.
Meep?
Here, you'll see. Tell us about yourself, Meep.
I was just a woman who is alive
At the
in the
time,
wrong time
in the wrong time, in the wrong place.
for the wrong people. I had a proclivity to help them, and I hide them.
So you're not Jewish,
9.
but you would be in an area and in a situation where there was trouble.
You know
Yes.
the girl Anne. You know Anne.
Of
Oh, yes,
course.
yeah.
And
That was
everybody-
me.
What do you mean you?
That was who the attic. That was me.
That
was your attic.
I worked for the man who had the attic, and I was sort of the landlord when he was up there. I kept the trains running in the business.
Wait, the trains to Auschwitz.
No, no, the trains in the jam
The
business.
regular, like the subway
The
system.
little jam business, marmalade.
the subway.
They made marmalade. The Franks made marmalade.
Right.
I worked for them,
Oh, the Frank family made marmalade.
Marmalade.
And then
and then I was an assistant, and I then brought them the food and
You know, I made a promise to myself 30 years ago that whatever I do in comedy, I will never bring Holocaust into my comedy. This is getting very close.
Oh yeah, this is actually Holocaust.
Yeah.
It's just something.
Wow.
Why would you?
really
Why
said
would you?
that.
Why would you set me up for it?
I wanted.
It doesn't make. It
What
doesn't
to
make
see
sense.
fail E3.
Yeah, I know.
You know that about E1?
Speaking of three, we do on every show, we do the 3 Ws.
Let's not speak about 3.
The 3 Ws is as follows. Why are you implying that there's. Anyway,
Okay.
the 3 Ws are
Yeah.
as follows. Okay. What are you working on? What are you worried about? And what do you wish for?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm working on my book.
Yeah. When are you done with that?
It's coming to the end. I think by the end of the year.
Okay.
What am I worried about? And what was the last one?
What do you wish for?
What do you wish for? Okay. What I'm worried about, I'll say with some vulnerability, is that I'm going through my life. No, obviously I'm going through my life. I'm going through a period of my life that's quite transitional. I feel myself becoming a very different person because I think the experiences that I've been through have really remolded me and shaped me. And I think I'm not the only one who, over the past few years, has really started to question a lot of things, right? It's just a period of time where there's been a lot of stress and a lot of pressure and a lot of change. And I can really feel myself outgrowing old patterns, old people, old habits, things that were sort of holding me back from the person that I feel like I'm now becoming. So I guess I'm a little bit worried about how that transition is going to look and how I'm going to step into that person.
It already sounds like you're improving yourself.
A lot.
So you're worrying about being and getting better?
It sounds funny when you say it like that, but I guess it's just unfamiliar. Like, who
Right.
is that person? You know?
Right.
You know, in fact, I'll tell you something that I think about a lot. You know that saying, this saying really resonates with me. You know, they say,
Everything matters and nothing matters?
that's a good one,
Okay.
but it's not quite that one.
Okay.
You know, they say our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate, it's that we are great beyond measure. We are more afraid of our greatness than anything else, right? It's like,
fascinating.
it's a huge like light coming out of you that you don't know. Like, what will that look like? What will my life
You're
be like?
afraid of your greatness.
I'm terrified of my greatness. And that's
Eli's
why
not.
No, I really,
he is.
I really
he
am.
is. He
No,
could-
I'll-
I can see that
I'm most
inhibition.
terrified of it.
Are
I
you?
can see
That's why
that
I hold back
inhibition.
what I
in you.
think.
That, you know, that's why you are so much more like brilliant and magnetic and awesome when no one's watching, because you have that
When
inhibition.
you're not on stage.
Right when I'm not on stage.
You have that inhibition of what if I'm great
Yeah.
and what if people see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I've become a comedian. It's so that I could hold back my greatness. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, but you do hold back your greatness.
I mean, I hold back what I think. I hold back talking. Yeah. I'll do that because I don't want to.
Here or in real life?
In real life, this is also here.
Okay.
This is also real life.
This is real life.
You hold back what you really want to say?
All the time.
Oh.
All the time. It would get brutal for people if I just said what I thought.
Okay.
But that's not your greatness.
What
Your
is
greatness
the
is your
superpower?
talent. Your greatness is who you are. Your greatness is who you are when you're not inhibited. It's you when you're funniest, most authentic.
So exhausting.
But that's the time that you're actually unexhausted because the mask is
While
totally
I'm
off.
doing it, yeah. I guess when the mask is off, it's when I feel greatest. But then immediately after, I'm like, I need 45 days.
Because
of
it's
just-
terrifying. It is terrifying to be in that energy of your greatness. And so when you ask that question and it sounds so weird, it's like, oh, you're afraid of improving, but it is getting closer to the thing that everybody fears deep down.
By the way, people really want to know like who you are and exactly what you are, because like you have this British accent, but you're from
what I am.
but you're from
Well,
Iran and you're not
I'm a
Jewish. But
mammal.
you care about you. What?
I am a mammal.
What does that mean? Right? A mammal.
A mammal.
But what are you like? You're born in
I'm born in London.
London, England. That's why you sound like that.
That's why I sound like
But why
this.
do you consider yourself Iranian?
Because that's my ethnicity.
That's your parents.
Yes.
Were born there and grandparents.
Yes,
And great
everyone that
grandparents.
I've ever known.
Literally-
my entire family tree. So I'm the first person in the tree.
Not
I'm the
born.
first
You
generation.
feel like you missed out on that?
Yeah, I feel like I was robbed of my identity.
By just being born in London.
By being like expelled from my homeland. Because I mean, if you think about it, if the revolution never happened, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
I would be in Iran.
Why did they expel your family? Because you
No,
were
they didn't expel my family. The revolution happened and everyone left.
Almost everyone left.
I mean, everyone who could leave or found a way. Like my dad went to the UK. No, he was already in the UK because he was studying at Oxford. So like the student thing, he had a student visa and then he applied for asylum when the revolution happened because you can't go back.
Right.
And then my mom had a medical visa because she was just like very sick. She was in Evin prison. My aunt was in Evin prison. The doctors there couldn't help her. And so she went to England. She met my dad. They got married. So everyone has like a funky story of how they left, right? But the whole point is that
you had to.
But if
Crazy.
that didn't happen,
You would be born there.
I would be speaking Farsi right now.
Have you been?
And I would be speaking English in a funny accent. Because
Right.
I can't speak so good.
Like the Persian people
Like the Persian
in Westwood.
In Westwood. I would say, I'm sorry, my English is not so good.
Do you know that the Persian people in Westwood, and I love the Persian people,
Oh, they're very
they will
friendly.
knock on my door
Knock on your
and say, you have ticket for me at the law factory?
ticket
You have
for
ticket
me.
for... I have small family of 19.
Family of 19.
You have 19
Okay,
tickets
I will
for
give you
me?
kebab.
You give, okay,
You give me ticket,
you
I
give
give
me
you kebab.
19 ticket,
Yes.
I give you kebab.
Okay.
Or this pot of gorme sabzi.
Korme sabzi,
Right.
okay.
Right.
Just for what's
Right.
19 ticket?
Just one
Why you
ticket.
don't have 19 ticket?
Why you don't have 19 ticket?
You're not comedian? You don't have access to your ticket?
You are a Persian with the worst Persian accent I've ever heard. So many of your accents are perfect, except your own accent of your own people. You blow me away with your accents. Give me what did you recently? German or Israeli? What was it?
I don't know.
They're very similar, So the German is like this, and the Israeli is like this. It's all about the S, the S, and the C's.
Israeli accent to me is very close to French
How so?
because they do the thing with the R.
Arr. Arr.
French, they speak like this.
I like this.
They're French,
this,
Israeli,
Israeli
French.
is like this.
No, Israeli, French.
Israeli.
Fr-
Fr- the vrrr.
No.
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 Frr.
French.
Frr. Front of the tongue. Front of the tongue?
French.
Or back of the tongue?
Bagaron.
French.
Badaron?
Garon.
Maza garon?
That's throat.
Badaron. It's like, like Brando.
Yeah, just like French.
French.
See the Godfather.
I've seen you do it and it's fantastic.
Sorry. Anyway, here's the point.
Wait, I didn't say my third thing.
I really want to hear what you wish for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't say what I wish for, but now I have to think about it.
Okay, let's
How do you,
let's just take a moment.
okay, we have to wrap it up soon in a few minutes, but I have so much more to cover.
Okay, then I'll keep thinking and you go on next.
You've never visited Iran?
I have many times.
Many times.
Yeah, but not after I started speaking out, obviously.
If things, God willing, the regime goes down and democracy is restored, or even a Shah or something good,
Yeah.
would you leave us in LA and go back there?
I've thought about this a lot. Maybe. Maybe. I think it would be like a real homecoming journey. It's sort of like the Jewish story of returning to Israel is a very protracted one, right? This for us happened yesterday. I mean, 50 years ago is yesterday in comparison to 2,000 years. But in that moment, it comes full circle and you come back to Israel, that's like a very poignant thing, right? It's a poignant moment. And it's like that, but I don't know if I would...
I bet dual citizenship would be a thing for you.
It's like I'm Western now.
You're so Western.
I'm Western.
What are you going to do in Tehran?
Oh, what are you going to do in Tel Aviv?
I don't know.
You
There's
know?
a lot to do in Tel Aviv, actually.
I mean,
There's
but
a
like
lot
we're
going
never
on.
going to be one of them.
What do you mean?
We're too westernized. We could
can't
never
be
belong
one
among
of them?
Yeah.
No? Where do we belong then, if not
We
for our own
nowhere.
homeland?
We're in between worlds.
Because we were born outside of
Exactly.
our
We've got
homeland.
one foot in each. Yeah.
This is a lot to take in.
Tough.
Can I ask you,
E3 doesn't
by
care.
the way, quickly, your newfound fame, because now people know you, recognize you. How do you handle that?
I have to say it's been going well.
You didn't set out to be a celebrity.
No,
I know you
I wouldn't
didn't.
say I'm a celebrity, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but you're very known.
yeah,
And then it's like all of a sudden, this woman who's a writer, a lawyer
Yeah.
by day,
yeah.
now you're like a celebrity.
trade,
Now you like get
celebrity by
invited to
night.
speak at
At the
galas.
speakeasy.
You're like a keynote speaker.
Keynote
She's a
speaker.
keynote.
She's a keynote.
You are not, nor will ever be, a keynote in anything. And let me tell you something. I think you're going to be a movie star. I think you're going to be one of the world's greatest comedy stars, like up there with the Mel Brookses and the Larry Davids.
I agree.
You will never give a keynote.
I agree.
I promise there will never be a conference or a gala that will say our keynote speaker is Eli Leonard. You will never hear the word keynote.
I've already done it.
You've done a keynote?
I've already keynoted.
Where?
In Minneapolis.
Oh, what was the event?
It was for.
What was the victim?
Who's in
Is
this?
anti-Semitism a laughing matter? Question mark.
You were the
And did-
keynote?
I was a
Was
keynote.
it funny?
Yeah, I was funny. I did well. I did very well.
I can promise
So
you.
it was more like a comedy.
Elica, I will look this
It was
up.
for a comedy festival.
I believe that he was asked to speak. There's
Don't
no way
believe
he
it
was the keynote. There's no way the program said
Keynote speaker.
Eli Leonard. There will never be a program that says that. He's going to be more successful than
You know
both
what?
of us combined.
You know what?
agree.
You might be
I
right.
agree.
You might be right. You might be right.
You weren't
It was,
keynote.
no, it was a panel.
Oh, it was a panel.
It was a panel discussion. I was a keynote panelist.
You were no, you weren't, and you weren't even the moderator, were you? You were just one
No,
of
I was one of the people.
Of a
I was one of the
few
experts.
panelists.
I was one of the two experts.
the expert panelists,
Yeah.
non-keynoted,
Being a Seinfeld writer.
who
Doesn't matter.
non-keynoted, non-keynoted panelist. Anyway, my point is correct. You're never going to
great.
be a keynote.
I don't know why you have to stop for that, to tell me that. I don't.
You'll never make
Late
it.
to our dinner.
Okay.
What do you love about Jews and Israel? Because
Wait, Elica, do you find this podcast to
Yeah.
be propagandic?
I'm having a great time.
Yeah,
I have
you're an
to
idiot.
say.
No, but
my
when somebody
standards
says,
aren't really-
when somebody says,
I'm curious,
what do you
why-
love about this
No,
place
you
that
know
I'm
what?
trying to defend constantly?
right, but you know what? You know what's interesting
No.
about you?
I'm sensing a little tension
I know,
between
there's a
E2 and E1 and E3.
No, not
You're E1.
not E2.
No.
E1.
Between
E1 and
E1
E3. Yes.
Yeah, not E2.
Yeah.
There's no tension.
No.
E1 and E3 always have tension.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of us is going to leave the band.
it keeps us going.
One of us
Yeah.
is leaving
It's
the
what
band.
makes our
It's the
stuff
fuel.
What makes our stuff so
friction.
good. Yeah.
The friction is what makes
together and
it
it's-
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's tense.
Diamonds are made under pressure. Okay,
Yeah,
I like
diamonds
it.
are made under
Yeah, I
pressure.
like it. I
But
like
the
it.
point is that I know why you defend Jews.
Oh yeah.
And I know that it's not for Jews, but you love the fact that
Mm-hmm.
Jews benefit from it. I know why you do, but what have you learned to love about Jews, about Israel, about like I know you defend it because you're all about defending the truth.
Yeah, well, I'm in it now.
Now
I'm in
you're
it now.
But
That's
what do you
the
love
thing.
about?
Well, I already told you the most important thing, which is the inspiration, right?
The Phoenix.
The phoenix.
The Phoenix people.
The phoenix people. And I have a phoenix. In fact, I'll show it for the camera.
Oh,
Very cool. Yeah.
wow.
There's a camera right here.
That's your camera right there.
Cool.
I'm not from Phoenix, but I do have a phoenix. But I think what compels me about the Jewish community is, and I don't think you'll really appreciate this having been born and raised in it, and not knowing what it's like to live as a goy, which the rest of us have to suffer. But
I know what it's like.
Yeah.
you live as a goy anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
We're in Surfside Miami Beach eating at a kosher deli. He had to go 2 blocks away to find
Next door
the tray.
to a kosher
2
style
doors down
deli.
You had to find the tray. We're sitting and eating kosher. He had to.
At a
this is what
horrible restaurant. By the way, Carrot and Bell Harbor, horrible.
I
Absolutely
like carrot.
horrible.
Love. You're crazy.
It's
and he had
horrible.
to find bacon. He had to. It was almost.
Pastrami.
it was almost like an in-your-face.
I got something more Jewish than you. You got a chicken
heretical.
wrap.
I have to be a heretic. You guys are gonna have kosher deli. I'm gonna find
Bacon.
the bacon.
And I'm gonna put it on your plate.
Yeah, no, not like that.
Not at all.
But why?
I wanted to
find the
eat something
bacon?
that would taste good to me so I could take my meds and I could do well at my show that evening.
It's rebellion. You have a lot of rebellion in you.
Sure, I do have a little bit of
definitely has
I
a
guess
lot.
I do. I guess.
But don't you?
But
Yeah. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Can I just say?
but should I finish the point?
Yeah, please.
So the Jewish community has a very strong bond,
Yeah.
which doesn't exist in other communities. Like, it's the way that you take care of each other. You know, all of these events that I've been to where I'm the keynote speaker. I don't know if you heard that one you mentioned.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm sitting through the events, right? I don't just go and speak. I sit there and I hear what everyone has to say. And it's like people are coming here to donate their life savings to people in a different country who they've never met, right? And it's like this spirit of like, okay, this is what they're going through. This is what they've been through after October 7th, their mental health, their this and that. And people are like, okay, I got to, write these checks. And it's like this feeling of like, I need to take care of you because we're all in this together. And that in itself is also something I think that develops from persecution, because you realize that you have to be linked together, right? You have to all stand together because of what it means if you don't. So
You're so right. And like all people, we still not only are not perfect, but often are divided. There's also often conflict amongst Jews. And then when we get to that place, like almost a civil war in Israel from the whole judicial reform,
Right.
and all of a sudden October 7th, and then we're back to unified.
Yes.
So persecution or a horrible event like that does somehow obviously bring us together.
yeah, but there's nothing else in the world like it. There's nothing else like that.
Right.
There's a unity that doesn't exist in any other community that I've ever
Because there's
seen.
no persecution like that.
No persecution like it, so there's no unity like it.
Well, I think the closest thing is the persecution Black people experience and how much unity there is in that community.
Yeah, but there's not like a different country and like all of this sort of back and forth, and like they're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is like over
Maybe
time.
Persians here. in-
okay, so
Also.
you're saying that the thing you enjoy about Jews that compels you. She didn't say likes,
Right.
by the way. She
Right.
didn't say she liked this.
Right.
The thing that compels you about Jews is our
It really is the persecution.
it
that
is
brought
it is our
Yeah.
no. It is our commitment to our dual loyalty.
Oh,
to
God.
being a fifth column.
Yeah. Dual loyalty. He always has to be counter. Like,
No, this is what I'm hearing.
thinks
It's
this
what I'm
show
hearing.
is too Zionisty. And it's like, can something be too much of a good
Yeah.
thing?
And can I, Eli?
yourself.
Can I,
Zionism
Eli?
is a good thing.
Can I tell you something?
Self-determination.
This is actually what I'm doing is the true rebellion, right? Because Zionism is the ultimate taboo. And the ultimate rebellion for me is when the world says, don't touch this thing. I'm like, I'm going to wear it.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
And the world is saying right now, we hate Jews, we hate Israel.
Zionists.
And you are just fighting against that.
I'm like, well, then I will be one.
Do you know, I bet you if the world loved Jews, you'd be an anti-Semite.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really sad. 'cause I'm
Yeah.
right.
That's sad. That's how counterculture
I
you have
don't-
to be.
I don't think-
you're too smart to be that hateful.
But it's also
and too
like-
sweet and too good.
Exactly. I'm
too
I'm
good.
never going to be hateful.
You're never going to be hateful.
Never going to be hateful. But also, if you think like that's what they say about white people, right? They say white people rule, like, are the most privileged, are the most da 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 da. But I don't hate white people,
Right.
right?
Right.
I like white people.
Yeah.
So I don't think that liking people would make me hate them. But
You're right. I
yeah,
was kind of kidding. I was just trying to reverse it.
if I could really have one wish that it would like really come true, it would be that there would be no terrorists in the world
Wow.
anywhere. Like that would be my number one wish.
Right. And someone
in Iran.
and someone listening to this would say, "Well, what is a terrorist to you?"
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I'm talking about the jihadists. Like no jihadists would exist anywhere in the world.
But
Not
then,
in Iran.
but then again, and Nazis are terrorists.
Yeah, Nazis are terrorists, but it's not that Nazis don't exist, but they're not empowered in the world. There's no Nazi regime that rules any country.
Right.
That is the world that we live in right now, but people just won't call them
close.
Nazis.
Right.
We're getting close.
We're getting close to pushing the line.
Elica, can I just say to you, first of all, so you're such a good friend, and it's a privilege to have a friend like you in life. But
Likewise.
on behalf of the Jewish people, not counting Eli, we understand what it is and what it means to put yourself out there, being an ally for us, how it's literally life-threatening, how it could be career suicide, sadly, how much courage it takes to do what you do. And that's why me and my wife just started going, who is this person? I can't believe she's fighting for us so brilliantly, making the case for humanity, not just for Israel, because ultimately that's really your cause, is what's right and wrong, humanity, the good stuff. And we're like, so I just want to, on behalf of everyone, say, seriously, thank you for being such a light of truth and of positivity and of what's right. What's right. Because you, except when we argue, are never wrong.
That was so sweet and thoughtful
mean it.
and moving.
Elica Laban, everybody.
Elica.
Thank you. E2, otherwise known as E2.
Otherwise known-
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen and others, this is the moment you've all been waiting for.
That's my favorite part of every week.
Well, what is it, Eli?
It is the Yiddish word of the week.
Now, why do we do this, you ask? Because sadly, Yiddish is a dying language. Sadly, my parents, who speak fluent Yiddish, used it to talk about me instead of to me or teach it to me. Therefore, I don't know it. This entire generation doesn't know it. Your generation doesn't know it.
Yeah, that's true.
We're trying to revive Yiddish, which is, it's not like our ancient native tongue. That would be Hebrew. You know, biblical Hebrew would be, because we're all from Judea, and the Torah was written in that biblical Hebrew. And then when Israel was reestablished, they said, well, what should we talk? How about the language of our Bible, of the Torah?
It's a little different.
It absolutely is a little different. Biblical Hebrew and then modern Hebrew is a little different. But they were deciding, because they were from so many different countries. They were from Arabic, Middle Eastern countries. They were like, do we speak Yemeni? Do we speak the Farsi? Do we speak this? And then they were from Eastern Europe. Do we speak Yiddish? There was a big movement to speak Yiddish in Israel, which really would have been, I think, a mistake.
I think that would have been awesome.
Yiddish?
Yeah, I think that would have been great.
I think that would have promulgated the incorrect notion that Israel is an Eastern
I don't
European
need to get into this
colonial
Yiddish
state.
word
So
of
what
the
I'm
week with your
saying
parents
is
at
that
the
if
moment,
Yiddish
not
was the language
false
of Israel,
history
it
lesson.
wouldn't represent
Let us
correctly
learn
the multicultural, multi-ethnic nature of Israel,
course.
which
It's
is
sort of
Jews from
propagated
Iraq
sense.
and Iran and Yemen and Syrian Jews. And anyway, what's the Yiddish word?
Yeah, Yiddish is the Ashkenazi language,
Right.
the language of
It's
Eastern
Sephardic and Middle
European.
Eastern, and
It's
yes,
both.
right.
Eastern European was Ashkenazi.
Right.
Sephardim do not speak
Ladino.
Yiddish.
They could have done Ladino.
Could have done Ladino. They had a choice of what language to speak, and they went, how about the native ancestral language of Hebrew? And they did that, and they revived it.
Created version of it that is not directly the same.
Directly linked to the biblical Hebrew. I mean, there's no, they added a
What
few
is
words.
the Yiddish word
Yeah,
of the week?
good question.
Okay.
Okay, how about oiskepitz?
Oiskepitz. Now this is a good one.
This is a word everyone's going to use, I think, in their vernacular. What does it mean?
Dressed to the nines.
Oh, look at
stop.
you, Mom.
Oiskepitz.
Mom, you're oiskepitzt.
I got all oiskepitz to go to that fair.
Oh,
I
that's
can't believe
great.
that Mom got all oiskepitzt for
Yes.
medium that's mostly audio. No one's watching this. They're really listening to it. You got all oiskepitzt.
I got all oiskepitz.
And then I had to get oiskepitz in 5 minutes because you called me 10 minutes ago
Probably
to
called
be
yesterday.
ready.
Let's be honest, though. Don't make it out that I don't call you. I'm one of those sons that call every day, right?
Yeah, but when you want us to do this, You call us 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
They'll give us a whole
And
night.
then I had to get
You guys
oyster
aren't
bits
good with
in
too
10
much
minutes
prep.
when it takes me a half hour just to put on my face. My
Oh, you
makeup.
don't even need
You
to.
need nothing. You're a natural beauty. Do you know my mother was a beauty contestant?
Yes, I know. I do know that. I remember this.
He was a model.
Well, tell us about that for a second.
bar-
How were you a beauty contest? You were a model. How did that work out?
Barbizon model. Well, you went to Barbizon school, and then afterwards you modeled. I modeled in the garment district, put on samples, and you know,
Such an intellectual.
that was
No, you're a
150
teacher.
years
You were
ago.
always getting oyskapitsed.
Always getting oyskapits up for everything.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
surprised-
you and now your wife. I'm sure for you being oyster pits is put on a new pair of jeans.
Right.
That's you don't look like this
Eli
wife. I bet
Oyster
your
Pits.
wife doesn't really put on jewelry, and
Who said she?
Right. How did you?
I doubt it.
better?
Huh?
He knew that your wife is
Does she?
shallow,
Fuck you.
vapid. No, you
Huh?
that cares about jewelry or things like that.
She gets oyskapitsed.
With jewelry and stuff?
Kinda.
Okay. Mine doesn't.
Oh, why not? Of course she is.
I thought you married a girl, like a flower girl, like a bohemian. No,
She's right.
What's up
My
with you?
has an intuition that I've never seen
You've
before.
never met my wife.
I've seen pictures of her, and I know that the way she's describing her is more accurate than how you are actually describing your own wife right now.
That's wild.
If you don't think she's sort of flowery and or
you to not
earthy
know, for you to not know
Mhm.
somebody and then to say that you know her better than someone who's
Oh no, I'm
is
saying
insane.
no, it's crazy, but I'm saying based on her appearance, which is fabulous, she comes off as earthy, flowery, and everything that my mother's describing. And it's weird that she picked up that that's your type, that that's who you would be attracted to.
The person I'm married to is not like anyone I've ever seen or dated before.
Right. But how
So
would you
it's not a-
describe her? How would you describe her? Earthy, flowery.
Not
If
call her
you said that,
earthy.
that would be great.
I'd say she's oyskapitsed. She gets oyskapitsed.
She does.
Yeah.
When you go
Well,
out to dinners.
She's not always good all
Party.
the time.
special occasions when you take her to a diner or something.
I think she'd get oyskapitsed for a diner.
Okay, I was a
Bristle is
and I
to get oyster bits at such short notice.
Whoa!
They
Beautiful.
were mad at me. They were abyssal pissed to get oyster pits on such short notice. That is the winning word of the week. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Stars of David is a production of Unpacked, an open door media brand. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and check us out on Instagram and YouTube.
If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a rating on Apple or Spotify. It really does help. It really does help us when you tell other people to find our show.
It does?
Yeah, I think so. That's what is written in front of me, and I'm reading that.
Stars of David is hosted by me, Elon Gold.
And me, Eli Leonard, and we are produced by Michael Weber.
Thank you for listening. We do appreciate you.
Yes, as always,
good.
Yantif Shamru Ben Israel Shambaz